one of the things that happens to Americans is, again, we're setting the record for sleep deprivation. We don't get much sleep. People do not get much sleep. And the brain needs, this is all the stuff that I've been studying about the brain. It's fascinating. The brain needs sleep to reboot itself.
7 to 8 hours.
And that's 7 to 8 hours for adults, right?
Yes, right. Every night. You can make up for sleep with a nap, but most people aren't able to do that. And it does wear you out. And as you wear it thin, you're more susceptible to your own negative, stressful thinking and misperceiving things and jumping to conclusions in a knee-jerk sort of reactive way, which is stress, which is all stress. So you frame this day in that way, and I would challenge people listening to the show to do that, and do it starting on Monday, do it every day, and then at the end of the day on Friday, make an assessment. Was this a better week? You know, at the personal level, at the level of my emotions, at the level of my contentment, my happiness. Was this a better week? The second thing.
This almost sounds spiritual when you talk about the affirmations of the old folks. Used to say, I could still hear my grandmother, and my 95-year-old mother does it every day. She gets up, and the first thing they do is say, "Thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you, Lord, for letting me wake up," because a lot of people didn't. "Thank you for the food that I'm going to eat today, and the hands that prepared it." These were the kinds of things that we used to hear old folks do, but now we don't live with the elders, so we don't learn the secrets of how to do it. So you're saying the first thing we need to do is get up, maybe get up a little earlier than the kids are going to get up, or the husband, or we're going to get up, and spend some time in gratitude.
Exactly. In that way, in gratitude and focusing your gratitude towards your day. And you don't have to believe in God. You know, just be thankful just to whatever, to random chance that you're still here. All of those things can be said if you don't believe in God, or if you do believe in God. What matters to you is what matters.
It affirms the goodness in your life, because many of us don't assess goodness. We're too busy concentrating on the negativity. It's amazing.
That's another tool that it's in the book and that I teach to people, which is called Mark the Moment. It's exactly what you said. You know, we're all living in the fast lane, and we have tremendous amounts of pressure and things, to-do lists that are impossible, emails that are unbelievable, and so we're moving really fast, and we're scared. You know, we're often running for stress. We're running scared, and so we zoom by wonderful moments that happen. For example, I love little kids, always have, and I have had 4, and I got 7 grandkids. And so when I'm in the grocery store and I see a mom with her little kids and they're pushing the little baby carts and whatnot, it fills my heart up. And I tell myself, mark this moment. This is a good moment. This is a moment of joy. You know, don't be so busy to pick, you know, that you got to get the stuff home so we start cooking, and don't miss this moment. And I do, and I allow it to affect me. I allow myself to open up. A sunset can do it for you. Achieving something at work. Most people don't actually compliment themselves for a job well done. Mark these small moments. Let them stop you for 10 seconds. And let them affect you. Let the world, the good in the world, affect you. That will begin to rewire your brain. Remember what I said, a change in experience changes your brain. So open up to these experiences. And in the book, I have a 5-minute break that you can take 2 times during the day, just 5 minutes, that goes through a process of just letting everything go and experiencing how, when you do that, how peace arises all by itself. And how invigorating it is when you do that, when that inner peace kind of comes on and shines a light inside of you, and you go back to work. You go back to work with more energy and with more focus and more brain power. the process of the thought awareness, becoming aware of the thoughts that bury you in stress reactions, and moving through those by, first of all, understanding the territory, your mental territory, and then shifting it by withdrawing your belief in the thoughts that you're thinking, until you reach a point where whenever stressful thinking comes up, you're busting it at the point of inception. That's stress-free. By definition, that's a person who's stress-free. Other tools that I have to do with increasing your creative brain power. There's been a lot of research being done on that. And the number one step in being more innovative, more creative, more of a problem solver in your life, and a really good problem solver, it all starts with getting stress out of
Okay, hold on just a moment. Take another break and come back to increasing your creativity. I can hear someone saying, well, I'm not a creative person.
Everybody's creative.
Your opinion of that right after this. Minutes after the hour, Bev Smith and you getting the recipes for success on how to get stress out of our lives as the ruler of our lives. And it's all a thought-changing process. First rule, gratitude. Second, mark the moment. Take those victories. Tell yourself, I did well today. Just pat yourself on the back. Hug yourself. Make yourself feel good. Mark the moment. Now, increase creativity, Dawn. How do we do that?
The first ingredient is what you just talked about. And also in marking the moment, mark moments when you out for a walk and you see a pretty sunset, or you see children at play and it moves your heart. Mark the moment anytime something positive and joyful moves you. And tell yourself, this is wiring my brain for positivity. It's wiring stress out of my brain. It is. It will do that. Neuroplasticity does that. So in terms of creativity, as you begin to lower your stress level, you increase your capacity for happiness. As I was telling you the story about the woman who used the thought awareness tool, and the destination point where she arrived with it was one of those out of context moments of joy, where she looked at the world and she said, "This is a beautiful world," and she was puzzled by where that came from. Well, the more you do this, the more those experiences occur. And so as those experiences occur, what they do is they activate the right hemisphere of your brain, where creativity is generated and intuition is generated, allowing you to think out of the box, allowing you to think innovatively, allowing you to begin to see a solution instead of being caught in the problem, which stress does to you. Catch it? It means you recycle and ruminate over the problem over and over again, and you see no solution. Well, the key to seeing that solution is being happy. So as you mark the moment, as you bust negative thinking, as you start your day positive, you begin to create a mindset that activates that part of the brain, the right hemisphere of the brain, and in particular a region of that. And then the way you increase it even more is you take breaks. Actually, the way in which our brain works is it requires a break every 20 minutes. I'm sorry.
Requires a break every 20 minutes?
No, I'm sorry. It requires, that doesn't make everybody go, what?
What did he just say? 20-minute breaks on the brain every minute. Whoa.
Yeah.
I fall asleep. Really would.
Exactly. No, every 2 hours, every 90 to 120 minutes, you need to take a 15 to 20-minute break. And the reason you need to take it, it came out of sleep research. Bill Dement and some of the other groundbreaking people, Kleckman in particular, what they found a long time ago was we have this thing called BRAC, the Basic Rest and Activity Cycle. And what happens is that when we start out fresh, we're full of ions that are generating fast brain waves. So that's when we show up at work, we're ready to go, we're running on all cylinders, making good things happen. And then about 2 hours later, we begin to run out of gas. One of the telltale ways that shows up is we might go walk across the room to get a file, and by the time we get on the other side of the room, we can't remember what we went there for.
Oh, that happens so much anymore. It's scary.
And so, well, that happens when we're pushing. We're pushing ourselves beyond our brain's capacity to support us. And so I tell people, most busy Americans don't see any way to take a break. So I tell them, take a 15-minute break in the middle of the morning and in the middle of the afternoon, and see if your productivity doesn't go up, because your brain activity will go up. And what happens during the 15 to 20-minute break is that calcium and potassium ions, which are what fuel these fast brain waves that make you a peak performer, it takes 20 minutes to restore them to give you 2 hours of fast brain waves. And there's no getting around it. And they found, a really interesting study found that the violinists who achieved virtuoso status, in other words, became the number one of the number one violin players, that all of them, almost without exception, described the pattern in which they practice and developed that mastery was they would work for 2 hours and they would take a half an hour break. And the ones that didn't do it were the ones that didn't achieve mastery. And so it's come to be, breaks have come to be thought of as the process that you have to use to achieve mastery in any subject. And
you know what I found out, because we're running out of time, I found out, particularly when I visit Caribbean countries, where they take, really what educated me was living in Miami. When you live in Miami, I lived in North Miami Beach, and there's a lot of Caribbean people there, Cubans, Bahamians, Jamaicans, and they take breaks. The Spanish-speaking community takes a break in the middle of the afternoon. A lot of countries do that. Yeah. And then they go back to work around 3 o'clock. That sounds like a very reasonable thing. In Japan, in Tokyo, you go to the factories there, they take breaks. Yes. They shift. They do shift changes where you may work this week during the day, and then you rotate, and maybe you'll work later in the afternoon, which really adapts. America has not come to that point yet where we give ourselves a break. We really don't. We think a break is a drink after work. That's our break.
Oh, we think it's some kind of union conspiracy, to slow down production. And in fact, the truth of the matter is, it's the way to raise production. It's the way to increase production. It's the way, and the name of the game in the world economy right now is innovation. You have to create something better than your competitor every 2 years. So you got a year to do it and a year to get it out to market. And you got to have the creative thinking. Well, a lot of companies, one of the big problems that they identify, Harvard Business Review identified, is that their people aren't good at creative thinking. They're not good at innovators. Well, they're not paying attention to the research. And the research says we've got to take breaks. That's part of what we do. Another thing it's kind of interesting about creativity is that if you paint a room blue and you put people in it, they will become more creative. Any kind of a really soft color like that, and it basically boils down, if you drill down into that, you find out anything that evokes a more peaceful, a more happy feeling inside of a human being opens the door to creativity.
Well, that's why a lot of psychiatrists and therapists like yourself are telling new mothers, when you're pregnant, play calming music. Calm yourself down. Sit down, and if you don't like classical, do jazz or whatever you like, but calm yourself down. The Blue Room does it. They tell you right away. They've done studies on colors like yellow and red, and watch the behavior of people in a red room. I don't know who would want a red room, but in a red room. Or yellow in the kitchen. They found that if yellow is in the kitchen, people produce things more. They're up more. But when they go into a blue room, they're much calmer. They're much calmer. We've learned a lot from you tonight. Thank you so much, Don. We're out of time.